characters are just villains. Others, they feel more like a force of nature. And then you have someone like Johan Liebert from the series Monster. He's a character people often call fiction's greatest manipulator, this chilling, phantom-like figure who just glides through the world, leaving absolute chaos behind him. But how does a character like that actually work? I mean, what makes him so terrifyingly convincing? Well, today, we're going to dive deep into an analysis that basically dissects his methods. We're going to explore the mindset, the personality traits, and the very specific techniques he uses to see what we can learn from this deconstruction of a true master manipulator. And this is the perfect place to start, with the effect he has on people. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It captures that profound, deeply unsettling impact he has. We're not just talking about someone who's evil. We're talking about someone who embodies something that feels fundamentally inhuman, even though he's standing right in front of you. So, where does a monster like this even begin? Well, the analysis suggests it's not with his actions, but with a very carefully constructed internal foundation. So let's take a look at the mind behind the master. Now, what's so fascinating here is this framework for absolute self-mastery. This whole analysis points to a foundation built on completely rejecting self-doubt. Just imagine it, having this unconditional belief in your own capabilities, and pairing that with a stoic, unshakable control over your emotions. Every single decision is purely objective, totally logical, not clouded by feelings at all. This absolute internal control, well, it's the bedrock for everything else he does. Okay, so he's got this rock-solid internal mindset, but how does that actually look to the outside world? The analysis breaks it down into 3 key personality traits that basically work as his arsenal of persuasion. The first pillar is a really profound intellect, but, and this is a huge but, we're not talking about being book smart or just knowing a bunch of facts. The source describes it as this deep, almost intuitive understanding of people. And this right here is the crucial point. His intellect is basically a diagnostic tool. He can just read people's vulnerabilities, he understands their cognitive biases, and he uses all that knowledge to be incredibly calculative and strategic. Every single move is made with precision, with plans for multiple outcomes. It's literally like he's playing 4D chess while everyone else is just living their lives. But let's be real, a sharp intellect can be pretty intimidating. So the second pillar is charisma. This is the secret ingredient that makes his intelligence so disarming and even inviting. And this is brilliant because it shows how his actual physical presence is a weapon. The source points out his attractive appearance, a gentle smile, confident posture, and this comforting gaze. You see, people are just naturally wired to trust those who look appealing and trustworthy, and he just leverages that bias to its absolute limit. He draws people in before they even have a clue what's happening. And the final pillar, the last piece of the puzzle, is mystery. Because while charisma is what draws people close, it's the mystery that keeps them perpetually off balance, and honestly, hungry for more. You see, he actively works to create this aura of being an enigma. He almost never shares personal details, only giving out these very selective, curated bits of information. He'll show you the result of what he did, but never, ever the process. This creates these compelling gaps in his story that people can't help but try to fill in themselves. It makes him completely fascinating and ultimately unknowable. All right, so we've got the mindset established, we've got the 3 pillars in place. Now let's open up his toolbox and look at the specific techniques he actually uses to pull it all off. And the scary part is, he doesn't just pick one of these. Nope. He combines them into this incredibly potent cocktail. He'll use gaslighting to make you question your own reality, guilt-tripping to create leverage, and this intense emotional manipulation that preys on your deepest desires and fears. And the key to all of it is his ability to build instant rapport, earning your complete trust before the real manipulation even begins. Now, theory is one thing, but to really see how all these elements click together, the analysis provides a fantastic case study from the series, The Rooftop Scene. So here's the setup. Johan finds this acquaintance, a guy named Carl, and he invites him to a quiet, scenic rooftop. His goal here is simple, but it's also incredibly profound. He wants to gain Carl's complete and total trust. The breakdown of how he does this is just wow. First, the environment, a soothing rooftop. It's meant to lower Carl's defenses. Second, he immediately sets the stage by putting the spotlight right on Carl with a question. Third, this tiny little favor, helping him up the ladder.
That's classic reciprocity. It subconsciously makes Carl feel like he owes Johan something. And finally, he controls the entire conversation. By only asking questions, he gets Carl to reveal everything while he reveals absolutely nothing.
And then, after Carl has poured his entire heart out, Johan delivers the masterstroke. He starts to cry. Carl is just stunned, and he asks, "For me?" This apparent act of incredible empathy is the final lock in the chain. So, you have to ask yourself, was it genuine? Was he actually crying for Carl? Well, the analysis says it doesn't matter. What matters is the outcome. Carl believed those tears were for him, and that belief cemented his absolute trust in Johan. And that, right there, was the entire goal of the interaction.
This quote, really, it just summarizes the entire philosophy that this analysis lays out. It's not about using brute force. It's about understanding the systems, whether we're talking psychological or social systems, so deeply that you can completely subvert them from the inside, all while making it look like you're just playing along.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of chilling question. When you combine this level of intellect, charisma, and mystery with a complete and total lack of empathy or morality, what do you get? What does it truly take to create a monster like Johann Liebert? That's a question that sits at the very heart of this entire fascinating character study.